welcome to the CADA Bootcamp. Welcome, everyone. So, my name is Emily. I'm just going to ask you guys to be a little patient with me first off, because this is my first online teaching bootcamp. So, I've never streamed before. So, it's going to be fun and interesting.
And I'm here.
Yeah, this is Christian. He's my chat moderator. Yeah, so basically just here to have banter with me, really. That's all he's really here for. No. Okay, so for those of you who were here last month, I'm replacing Matthias, or Mito. And for those newcomers, I'm replacing Chatfa. Which you probably might have saw online. But yeah, basically I'm just going to take you guys through the ZBrush Core Mini to be specific. And that's the first class, yeah. And as you guys probably already know, this is like a 4-part thing, right? So today is going to be ZBrush, and then next Wednesday we're going to have modeling, hard surface modeling. The week after that, we're going to have animation. And the week after that, we're going to have texturing. And yeah, so that's that, I guess. Then I guess I'll just start off by telling you guys a little bit about myself. And by the way, like, any questions at any time at all, like, put it in the chat. I'll answer as soon as I can. Like whether it's like practical questions about the program and software itself, or even just about like the industry or whatever it is, right? Like, just ask anything you want. Oh, do you see that?
Voice seems to be cutting out a bit.
Ooh, should I turn the mic up?
Yeah, just...
Is it this one?
So, here's what we do. I think... Was it that one, or was it that one?
I don't know. I think it was this one.
Alright, trying to dial it up a little bit.
Can we see?
Absolutely we can.
Look, I can do this.
Yeah.
What about that? Is that better?
Yeah, let's see what the chat is...
Is that better? There's a slight delay, obviously. So, yeah. Hopefully I'll see when you're right. Okay. But yeah, so my name is Emily. Great, it is better. Cool. So I graduated. I was actually a student of Trumax, or CADA. I graduated last year, and since then I have had roughly a year and a half in the industry. In the field. And so yeah, I basically kind of started off doing 3D almost, I don't know if I can speak for all of you, but I had zero prior knowledge to 3D before doing this. And I started in 2019 just attending the school, and the learning curve was steep, but that's okay, because ZBrush is here to save us. And Core Mini is like, it's like the UI is just so clean and so beautiful, and I feel like I'm playing in MS Paint for 3D, but like, if you don't feel like that, that's totally cool. Don't let any of these buttons intimidate you. Just have fun with it. The best way to learn is fuck around and find out. That's the best way I can put it. I'm actually from Australia. Not sure if anyone could pick that up. And then I wanted to study abroad, and then I found Trumax or CADA and started doing 3D then. And then the rest is history, I guess. My current position at the company that I work at, I'm a generalist. Big surprise, because CADA is, they teach you everything. So we are kind of trained to be generalists. But I did my bachelor's project in sculpting. So I guess if I had to, you know, I'm sort of a jack of all trades, but if I had to be a master of one, I would probably say sculpting. But don't quote me on that because, you know, I might be a little rusty, but we'll see how we go. Let's just play around with it. We are gonna make a dragon head. I like dragons a lot, but I've never actually needed to sculpt a dragon in the industry, not yet, but this is gonna be interesting. So, like, I'm hoping you all have ZBrush Core Mini downloaded. I hope that's obvious. If not, follow along, have fun, that's cool. I have a drawing tablet here in front of me. I'll actually show you guys. It's kind of cool. Here we go. Looks like this. It's a little delayed, I don't know if you can see. But, so it's like, I'm using a stylus and a mouse, so like I can draw on the screen. If you guys don't have that, don't stress, no pressure. Like, we all kind of started off using a mouse. If you do decide to attend CADA and actually study here, they give you a drawing tablet. And the drawing tablet that I was given when I started this education actually didn't have a screen. It was just, you know, like the flat drawing board, and then you would like look at the screen and like do like this. That was a hell of a thing to get used to. But like, I could even use the mouse if it's like easier also for you guys. I'm gonna let you know all the controls along the way. That's, you know, no sweat. But yeah, I might like use the tablet from time to time, or, you know, whatever. It is easier that way. And, you know, if sculpting sort of became your thing, like, definitely drawing tablet, really great investment. They're saying increase the sound more. Should I?
I just gave it a little bit.
Oh, you
more.
did give it a little bit more?
Yeah,
okay.
I gave it a little bit of a nudge, but
that was, yeah. Well, yeah. Thanks for being patient, guys. We're doing our best. So, yeah. I know we're all, like, dying to get started right now. I'm not trying to hold you guys up. I'll just, I guess, an introduction to ZBrush. Also, I just want to say, like, if you guys are really creative, if you like drawing, and if you like the more, like, character design side of things, you know, like monsters, animals, this sort of, like, area, ZBrush is for you. It's a really competitive market, but it is so, like, if you were to become a freelancer or whatever you want to do, right, like, ZBrush is your program. It's industry standard, so it's a good place to start. It's a great place to start. It's the best place to, yeah. Okay, cool. Right, I'm off my soapbox. Let's do this. So, first things first, navigation within ZBrush. Alt and Control is like your new best friend. If you hold Alt and then like left click, you're gonna get to move your thing all around. Actually, I'll just mention, if you don't have this sphere already, click this button. That's gonna help you out a lot. It should pop up, right, when you like start the program. But if you don't have it, that's gonna get you to where I am. So yeah, Alt and then left click if you're on a mouse. If you're on a stylus, like me, it's the button closest to the pen tip, so the bottom button. And then just Alt and then, like, you know, do this thing. For like zooming, these are like control shortcuts, right? Like, if it's easier to remember, we can write it down. We may even be able to write it in the chat, I don't know, but it's a good note, like, to have the shortcuts. It's going to make things so much smoother and faster for you. Then let's see here, I'll just use the mouse first. So there's this one. With, like, for those on the mouse, if you hold Control and Alt at the same time and left click, that's going to get you to zoom. For stylus, a little bit more tricky. It takes some getting used to. It's simple enough, but when you're working really fast, you know, you can like fuck it up. So Alt again, then like moving around, and holding down like that button, and then you release Alt and move your stylus across the screen, and that should also give you the effect of like zooming in and out like this. And I'll just do this so I can show you guys. Like for just rotating, I guess, this head is supposed to symbolize like, okay, where are you looking? This is the front. You can just click this guy and he's gonna come there. You know, move him around like that. Like that's kind of, if you're a little bit lost, like where am I? This is to indicate that. It's super useful. But moving around in the scene just normally, it's just the left click. It's just the normal left click. And you know, and then you get the hang of it. And if all else fails, you know, and if that gets like, you know, if you get like a little, like if you can't remember, this is always over here on the far right. Yeah, that can help a little bit too. But yeah, I just did this to symbolize where I was, because when I was looking at a sphere, I was like, it's not moving, but it is. So yeah, how are we doing so far? Okay, so for a Mac, where do we even start? I think, isn't it the Apple iPad that's coming out? No, ZBrush.
ZBrush has just been announced that it's going to.
Yeah,
now.
exactly. Like, yeah, so ZBrush is trying to make a version for iPad, but for a Mac computer, 3D software unfortunately wasn't designed to function on those types of computers. I did hear that the Apple like M1 and M2 chip might be able to handle some 3D work. ZBrush, not as much of a problem, just because of the way that it runs its code in the background. For programs like Maya and stuff, it's a lot more difficult. But ZBrush you could probably run on like the higher end Macs. The controls are the same. But yeah, 3D software I've always struggled to run on Macs. Yeah, sorry, can't help you much out there. But yeah, okay, cool. So let's just dive into this, I guess. The first rule, I guess, is always get reference. If you're an artist, then you've probably heard this a gajillion times. But it's a dragon, so you can't really go wrong. Like, we're just gonna have fun with it. Here are your different stylus, like paint brushes to choose from. Brushes? What am I saying? When you're a normal ZBrush that's not Core Mini, the UI and the options are, you have like quadruple the amount of options here. And then you have like a gajillion more brushes to choose from. Also, you can also create your own brushes. You can import brushes from online that are super useful. Like if you need something specific, that's also super handy. But like this, honestly, like you can do anything that you want with this. Like this is great. So right now I've got your like your basic standard. This button here means symmetry. It's turned on. You can see that. Super useful for things like skulls, bodies, the whole lot really. Nothing is fully 100% symmetrical, but it's a good start, right? So I guess, how do we, yeah, using the creative side of my brain. Oh. Size of your pen brush up here, simple enough. Strength or like intensity. So that's a good place to start, I guess. I guess we just pop her up there. And yeah, basically now we're gonna have fun with it. I'm pretty sure they kept it the same so that, that's a bit big. I guess we can just start having fun now, guys. This is the fun part. Did I even? Yeah, okay.
By the way, Emily, I have
Yes.
2 questions for you. So the first one is from ICY Film saying, may I ask how I can make that paintbrush size UI? I'm kind of curious if maybe it's how do you change the size of the brush?
Yeah. I probably should have gone with that a little earlier. These are your basic sizes here. I think that's the only size options you've got. Just scale this here and now, here and there. Yeah. If anyone makes Charmander, can you please show me? I want to see a picture in the chat. That'd be awesome.
Absolutely. And second question
Yes.
is from Willem saying, I have a question. Do you need to know 2D in order to start sculpting in 3D?
Absolutely not. You don't need to know anything. You can just go for it. Like, in some cases it helps, in other cases it doesn't matter, right? Like, there's, like, the sky is your limit. There is no limitation. Just have as much fun with it as you want, and, like, you can still be super serious with, you know, this program, and make a lot of money. Even if you don't know how to draw. But yeah, any artist will tell you that reference is super important, depending on if you're making something that already exists or if it's just from your brain, because then, like, you really can do no wrong, right? I'm actually teaching and, like, creating stuff at the same time. Like, what? Crazy. Oh shit. I'm gonna actually do something here where yeah, alright, great, awesome. You guys like my dragon so far? Okay. And maybe you guys don't really care, I'm not sure, but if you want to see some of my work actually in the industry, I'm so happy to show you that as well, just so you don't think you're learning from an absolute moron right now. So right now I'm just still using the standard brush. I'm just, like, going in, like, doing the biggest, I guess, you know, the biggest features of the head first. That's how you usually do it, right? And then, like, if I find that it's a bit too harsh, I'd hold shift. I'd hold shift on your keyboard, and that will just smooth it out. It's just, like, a really nice way to create, like, larger shapes and, yeah, get something sort of reasonable, I guess. I don't know. What is the anatomy of a dragon? Okay. Still keeping on symmetry for this. And also, like, just by default, right, your brush is set to build. So it's going to build geometry in the areas that you press. But my the shortcuts, so my brain just skips, like, I just go straight to the shortcuts. I'm holding Alt while I'm pressing my geometry, and that will do the opposite. That will cave it in. Super useful for making things super fast. Again, holding Shift just to smooth that out a little bit. Ooh, that was probably a bit too much. Looks a bit strange. Still, skulls do look kind of strange, though, if you think about it, but... So, it looks more like a bear, doesn't it? What on earth? And, you know, I'm like... I say that reference is really important, but I haven't actually done that myself, so... I guess for, like, more creative people, it's not, like, such an issue, but I'm just winging it, because why not, you know? Okay. Well, it's something. It's not alive yet, but it'll come. It'll come. Patience.
So Emily, have you ever used Blender before?
Oh yeah, I during my internship I used Blender quite a lot. You can sculpt in Blender, and yeah, it's doable. Like Blender, even though Blender is free, like more and more companies are using it. Definitely worth learning. It's super, like it's fast. Also, it's not a heavy program. Like it's super nice. But and like if you got the time, like yeah, I would recommend learning it. The more programs that you know, the better. But ZBrush is industry standard for sculpting. But yeah, like the more, like especially as a generalist, the more programs you know, the more valuable you are, I guess, because no matter what company you go to, or like even if you decide to start your own thing, right? Like, but yeah, like depending on the company you go to, like every company uses different software. So like for my internship, they use Blender. For like my current job, we use Maya, Substance Painter, although not a lot of Substance Painter. We do a lot of shading and texturing within Maya also. And animation inside of Maya as well. Oh, and then we use Houdini, a lot of Houdini. So for you guys who are into like special effects, like explosions and all this like simulation and, you know, cool, crazy stuff like that, Houdini, that's your guy.
Absolutely. And also there is a question from the chat saying, what did you do to pull out the snoots? Or you still using the standard tool?
Yep. I'm using the standard brush tool, and I've just gone up in brush size, up in intensity, and I'm just building that sand on top of there. Oh yeah, that's a funny thing. So I'm like really used to using the stylus, right? So, but with the mouse, you can change the size of your pen brush just by using the middle scroller. So that might be useful for those of you who are using the mouse. Not sure how many, but it's worth talking about. So,
and last question is there like a symmetry switch that you can turn on and off? So if you want to just like kind of just like mirror, so if you want to just like kind of pull out an ear from one side,
and then
it will do the exact same on the other side. Is there like an off and on button? Or
well, okay, so yeah, like there are multiple like different ways to do it, right? Like this is your symmetry button right here that's highlighted in orange. As long as you have that turned on, it's gonna put symmetry on both sides. But if I understand what you're asking correctly, like let's say you had symmetry turned off, right? And I just fucking did this. Sorry, excuse my language. I'm Australian, please. Have mercy. Like you just throw this on here, right? And then you're like, oh, like I really love that. I love the way this looks. And you just want to like throw it on the other side.
Right.
There are ways to do that. But this is ZBrush Core Mini, so it is actually a little different. And I'm not sure, like in the normal ZBrush you have like 3 extra layers of options up here, like full rows, and there's 100% a way to do it. You can also, like, I'm not sure if you guys have any experience in Maya, or if you've ever watched any Maya tutorials, you'll know that there's a gizmo, and this has arrows, and you pull it up, you pull it down. This is like basically one axis measurements, just. So you can also get that effect in ZBrush, though in here, I'm not so sure.
I think like it's like a stripped down version. So
yeah, it's basically like exactly a stripped down version. But
yeah, one of the viewers was kind of curious about how you can turn it on and off, just in case if you want to do a little bit of let's say like asymmetry?
Yeah. I mean, then yeah, this button on and off, that's your go-to. And what I just did was Control Z for anybody who hasn't like worked in like computer whatever stuff anymore. Control Z is it's usually like sort of like a universal undo button.
It's your best friend.
Yes, that is also your best friend. But while we're here, actually, let's go through some of these buttons. So look at that. Look at that. It's something. You got the floor over here. This is basically like world space. It acts as, it's a grid, basically. And it acts as sort of like, okay, if the floor was there, where would it be? Or, you know, whatever kind of surface you want. It's also really nice for visualizing, like, yeah, what angle, what perspective are you on right now? Yeah, also a nice helpful tool. And like this has multiple axes as well. So you've got like X, Y, and Z. So here we go. We got your Y. No, wait, what am I talking about? Your X, yeah. Your X, which is like this, right here. And your Z at the back. And it like, what it will do by default is go as close to your mesh or your object as possible, and it will touch the sides, and it'll just give you basically like, it's also, you can use it for lots of stuff like measurements and stuff, or if you want to be exact. Yeah, could be nice to have like that. Just want to make sure I'm reading the chat also. Let's see. So yeah, it's a little hard to see, but you do have, am I understanding that question correctly? Like you, someone said using X can turn it on and off. We only got the option for the X, I think, in Mini.
Yeah, that will be the symmetry. I think if you press X.
Is that for right?
So that is like the one that is just like the hotkey for turning it on and off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is. But yeah, so also the X axis, like in normal ZBrush also, you can symmetrize, for example, on any axis. Like you can symmetrize and have something here and here the same, right? Like that's super nice. Like you can have symmetry on more than one thing, right? But I don't think that that is an option here. At least if it is, not totally sure where. See, because you can see there's like nothing here. Like, but it's kind of nice just to get a feel for things, right? As for like these axes, like yeah, you can like turn on any 1 or 2 or 3 that you want at a time. And yeah, so yeah, it's a nice way of seeing if your model is actually symmetrical, because stuff happens, you know. Let's see what this does. What's this? Huh. Okay. So as far as I can see, this changes the way that you rotate. I don't use that, like, here we go, put it back. This here is a super useful button. So right now, I've just selected this purse button, short for perspective. Now, when I select this again, it turns perspective off, which means I'm in something called orthographic view. Orthographic view basically means that it basically removes the depth of field from your view entirely. Like, there's no depth. You're kind of gonna see, like, it's hard to explain, but visually you can see the difference. Sometimes it can be really useful, like for this sort of thing, for example, if you want to like it's nice, but try it out, and then when I turn it back on, you can see like it looks a little different, right? So yeah, you can kind of get more of an overview this way, I guess, but this is more realistic. My best advice about this function is make sure, like, because this is super useful. I find myself doing this all the time. But when you are using it, make sure to go back and forth between the two very often. Because if you model in this orthographic view perspective too much, and then you go back to this, it's going to be like completely like not what your vision originally was. It could be better, it could be worse, but usually it's just not the same. And this is more realistic. Like, this is what you're going to kind of see in Maya. If you were to export this model into a different program, this is how you're going to see it. It's perspective with depth of field. So, important to keep that in mind. So many questions. Oh my lord. Oh, you guys are nice. I need to do some more progress on his eyes, though. Yeah. So, yes. I'll just say it again. Control Z is your undo button on the keyboard. Yeah, that's the most useful thing. Yes. Oh, at the end of Bootcamp? I don't think so. I'm not sure.
No, well,
We can give you a gold star. We can send you an email saying congratulations if you'd like. But I don't think there is a certificate attached to the end of this bootcamp.
No, and I would definitely say just like it's more like the output. I would say is like your like certificate in some manner.
I absolutely want to see, like, just so you know, like, for you guys who are working in ZBrush Core with me, Mini with me at the same time, I would love to see your models and just see your progress. Because, like depending on the detail, depending on the detail of your model, it can take hours, days, or, you know, it can also take way less. I'm doing something a little more on the cartoony side. It's simpler, it's quicker, a little bit more achievable, you know. So, but I like for whoever shows up to the next class, next bootcamp, next week, I would love to see, like, whoever's comfortable with that, of course, like, just take a screenshot and put it in the chat or something. I'd love to see that. That would be awesome. I'm gonna have to redo these eyebrows. Ugh. Oh my gosh. Oh, no. Here we go. But yeah, I don't think we offer a certificate. Something to note also, like, this bootcamp probably won't be enough. Well, it's all practice, right? How much you do in your own time, the more the better. But this bootcamp probably won't be lengthy. Oh no, I've got... See guys, I had my symmetry turned off and I just... Oh, okay, here's a good one. Control-Shift-Z is redo. For those who don't know, I think some of you already knew that, but Control-Shift-Z is redo. Also super useful. Yeah, and I just did something without having symmetry on, which was frustrating, because then you have to undo that. That's something also that, yeah, we should all watch out for, because, yeah, that can be annoying. I keep getting sidetracked. Yes, this bootcamp does not come with a certificate, and with this bootcamp alone, you probably won't be able to, like, jump straight into the industry. But I mean, it depends, right? You never know. Like, there are a lot of I'm sitting in Copenhagen right now. It is an international school, so I'm just keeping in mind, I don't know where everyone's from, but I'm sitting at the school's base in Copenhagen, Denmark right now. And there are a lot of pop-up 3D companies that are just starting up, and they're doing great. They're doing just fine. So totally up to you how far you want to go with that. But this is just like the basics, the basics, right? Yeah. So, if I don't answer, because like, you know, I'm doing stuff, like if I don't answer your question straight away, I apologize. Christian will probably get to that if he catches it. But to answer one of the questions, I think, yeah, we do upload these streams to YouTube. So if you ever want to rewatch them, or if you don't have enough time today or whenever, like, you can always go onto YouTube and watch them there. Okay, so as you can see, I'm being a bit careless with this. Something I feel that a lot of people or like maybe artists get stuck with is like the perfectionism straight away. Really important to remember, like, you'll also get taught this if you ever attend CADA and TrueMax, but perfectionism is your enemy. We gotta do the big stuff first, just throw it in there, get it done, and then we polish after, polish later. That is like, at least in this industry, in the 3D industry, that is like a rule for like every practice. Just throw stuff in there. And because, you know, if you try to sit there and do like the little details straight away, like it's, you know, yeah, I mean, maybe it'll get the look and the effect that you want. I mean, that's obviously up to you guys, but usually when it comes to finishing projects and stuff, like they teach you, again, holding shift just to do that. Throw the big stuff in there and just take care of it later. So I've just tried to add like an eyeball in there somehow. And let's do something like this. In the normal ZBrush, there are also like lots of shortcuts to like use different brushes and stuff. So you can, like, for example, you can press the space bar. Okay, that doesn't work here. You can press the space bar and get like a bunch of different stuff. But I'm not teaching that today. That's all right. Okay, so again, like, I didn't even change much. I just held Alt and just screwed it up, you know. Then I'm gonna do Shift again, and I'm just gonna smooth that out. Now, when I, like, instead of holding Shift, if you actually wanted like a smooth brush, yeah, see, like I totally messed it up, but that's okay. I'm pretty sure there's a brush in here. Is there a brush in here for smooth? Not that I can see. Strange. Still really useful. Maybe that was a little too much. Too hardcore. You can tell that I am so used to having that pad where I don't look at it and I just do this. That's why I keep looking at the screen, even though I have this right in front of me. Oh, Lord. Okay. Nope. Are they able to send pictures in the chat if they want to, like screenshots and stuff?
So basically what I've done is that I've shared the Discord link that you can join us for, which means that they can go into the Bootcamp channel, and what they can do is maybe just like take a little bit of like a screenshot of what they've been working on. So I think at the very end, maybe if we have time, I think it would be great for us to just like kind of go through what maybe the attendants have done, and you can maybe give a little bit of feedback.
Yeah.
Just like see what.
I would so love that. I would so love that. Also because like we have quite a lot of people watching right now, at least for, you know, the start, right? So it's hard to get a grasp of everyone's skill level. We're probably all at different places, and it's like it would be really nice to see like what are your expectations for the model that you want to get out of this. Because like I said, like I'm just going in here and just fucking is that? Oh God. Okay. Holding Shift to smooth again. Like, if I was actually doing this model for like a client or a product or an animatic or whatever it had to be for, right? Standard, like usually you would, let me see if there's something here. I really don't think you can, but there's a function usually in the normal ZBrush where you can select an option to import extra geometry. So for example, we started with a sphere here, right? There are buttons where you can like get an extra sphere there and an extra sphere here. You can get a cube, a cylinder, whatever you want. I would get a sphere or two, or like just one, position it, put symmetry on it, and that would act as like the eyeballs. So I would have two spheres symmetrically placed like on the side of the head here, and then, but that would actually be separate geometry to whatever this is, right? And then I would build the geometry around that. But I actually can't see that option here. What is this? Nope. No, thank you. What? Okay. I'm working with the square now.
How did that happen?
Oh, I think I pressed no instead of cancel. See, guys, look, I've been doing this, but we all make mistakes. It's all good. Okay, here we go. All right, I'm just gonna catch up real quick. It's all right, you know, don't be intimidated to, like I said, mess around and figure stuff out. There we go. Oh, it's beautiful. Okay.
How did you manage to do that before?
Do what?
Just like to kind of just like spawn that cube like.
Yeah. Oh, I clicked this one.
No.
I didn't know. Like, it's so different. Like, this version is so simplified that I actually haven't seen some of the buttons here before. I did play around, guys. I did prepare, but didn't need it. But you know, it's okay. It's a learning. It's learning for everyone. Okay, let me fix this before I get nightmares from looking at it. God, here we go. Shift to smooth. I keep saying that, but you know, it is what it is. It's just the truth.
It is.
Oh my God. Can be super fun to see what kind of crazy creations your friends make too.
Oh yeah.
That can be sort of funny. I think like for one of the semesters, I think it was third semester at CADA, we have like these master classes where we have professors come in from all over the world, all over the place to teach us their specialty. And when we had ZBrush, we had this specialty ZBrush teacher, and we had to make like our own like monster or character or whatever. I made Cthulhu, which was pretty cool, in my opinion. I liked him a lot.
Was that like a 2 week? Was that like a 2 week special?
Yeah. Oh, it might have been 3.
Yeah.
But usually the master classes go for 1 to 2 weeks, which, you know, everyone always says, right? Oh, I wish we had 1 more week in this class, but they're the ones that like that, and they're the ones that want to specialize in that subject, right?
Oh, yeah.
So you've always got, like, it never feels like enough, but, you know, it's just because you fall in love with it, and you're just having so much fun. At least I did. That's why I went. I was super into drawing and all that stuff before I started TrueMax, and I knew that this was a way into the industry, and then you just fall in love with it. Okay. I kind of miss my old dragon, but that's alright. It wasn't much of a dragon anyway. Not yet, at least. Okay. But that's alright. Yep. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. You're right. That is a shortcut, holding S. So if you guys, if that also speeds things up a bit. Good that you caught that. You could also, like, just spam the keyboard and see what happens. But, up to you. Okay, alright. I mean, it's been so long since I've, like I said, I'm a generalist at the job that I work at currently. But we outsource our sculpts from freelancers. So that's why I said at the beginning, if you want to be a freelancer, that's where it's at, right? They make bank. But super competitive market, so you have to be really good. Haven't done this for a hot minute. Let's try a different brush for once, huh? Like, just to play around with it. Build up, kind of pretty much the same thing, just a different shape of the brush, really. Super useful depending. I honestly, like, it's the same for me, really. I'll show you guys another cool one in a second. It's gonna have gnarly eyebrows. It just has to be done. Just gonna put that there. Just back on standard brush again. Now, something you guys have probably seen or tried, not sure how much you've been experimenting or not, is the snake hook. This sort of creates, like, I'll just show you. This creates, guess you could kind of guess, like it pulls stuff up like that. Super useful. I import most of my brushes for like certain stuff like this. You can import, like, let's say you're doing a character, right? Depending on whether it's hyper-realistic, photorealistic, cartoony, or whatever. For hair, you could do hair planes. This is all stuff, you know, you could learn. If it's like really realistic hair, like you might do it in Maya or XGen, or you might use hair planes with PNGs on top with like alpha, blah, blah, blah. Not sure if that makes sense to anybody, but you can download custom hairbrushes for like really cartoony hair, right? Think like Fortnite, the hair in Fortnite. You can literally download a brush and simulate that sort of hair and then just create it. It's like super fun to play with. Let's do something. Okay, it'll do. All right, move. Great brush. If you like what you've sculpted, but it's just like, it's not in the right spot or whatever, and we've still got symmetry on, cool. You can just grab that bad boy. There we go. So I'm just gonna turn that down a bit. There we go. Super satisfying, because like, if you like drawing, super fun. Just see it come to life. I'm just gonna go back to the standard brush. Holding shift, I'm pretty sure smooths it no matter what kind of brush you're in. Oh shit. But like in normal ZBrush, holding different keys will have different effects for different brushes. So it just kind of depends. Yeah, okay, cool. So, let's just keep on doing. I need to make some progress.
So Emily, where are you currently working at?
Ooh, I am currently working at a VFX company called Gimmick VFX. Personally, myself, I have not worked on a feature film yet. Most of the projects that I've been on have been advertisements, like random products, like, should we show it to him? We gotta show it to him. I did yeah, like Lego is one of that company's bigger clients. If I pull up YouTube on this screen, they're gonna be able to see it, right?
Yeah. So basically,
Cool.
what you do is
I'm just gonna show them then.
yes. So you basically just like drag it over to your second monitor, and then they can see what you see.
Yeah, I mean, like, why not, right? I'm
Just
super
send
proud
it.
of this one.
We're gonna send it.
There we go. Let me just find it for you guys. But yeah, so Gimmick, like, they're a business located in Copenhagen. And, yeah, we work on a lot of stuff. So I did this. Well, me, like, credit where credit is due, right? Me and my team did this.
You did Lo-Fi Girl?
Yeah. So, I scrolled down. All right, guys, I'm so sorry. So, basically, Lego and the official Lo-Fi Girl channel, right? As a business, they wanted to cooperate with each other. So the official Lego came to us with this project, and they were like, okay, we're going to do this thing. It's got a really nice track. If you like it, like, it's not live, obviously, like, but it's got a nice track. If you like listening to lo-fi, I would recommend it. I did this. I did the Lego build up and all the animation for this. I also did a lot of the texturing and shading. My senior did the simulation of like the Lego falling that you saw at the start. And then another colleague of mine did the lighting and all this stuff. So this was like a super fun project to work on. We, like, Lego as like their company, have in-house 3D artists at like their business who made the models. So I think when I do modeling for Lego, it's like hard surface, extra things that we need. But it's very rare because there's rules. There's like a lot of strict rules of like things that we need to follow when we work for them. So, or with them. So, like, yeah, there's a lot of rules. And they have very specific rules. So their own in-house 3D artists they work. Because they have to be dead on, spot on with the product, right? Usually we work with actual products that are going to be released in store. That particular set is not a product, so a little bit more freedom there, but not much, because it is the official Lego, and, you know. Maybe it would be better to show them a sculpting example, but I haven't needed to sculpt in the industry just yet. Like I said, Lego has their own in-house 3D artists that they use. So, but I did do that sculpt for my bachelor's a long time ago. It took me a couple months. It was quite a big task. So, what I've just grabbed is the pinch brush. Many uses for this. I'm just smoothing it out a little bit. Like, I'm going to turn up the intensity. As you can see, it wants to grab the surrounding polygons and the surrounding geo and like squeeze it together and tighten it, right? Nice for anything that you like, really. Like eyelids, whatever you want. And if you do the opposite, if you hold Alt while doing it, it will have like the same effect, only inverted, right? Which I'm going to use right now, actually, because why not? I'm just winging it. So, yeah, I mean, you get the gist, right? Just going to pull the chat back up, because I am... Here we go. Okay, cool.
Boom.
Nice. Yeah, cool. Yeah, why not? That's it is what it is.
It is what it is.
And like, you know, mind you, you can perfect things for days, forever. It's never going to be totally right. But when it comes to actually working in the industry, you're always going to have someone like either a creative director or a senior or like a manager on the project that has creative feedback or like has a vision. In my case, there are like 4 levels of approval that you have to get through before you can actually, so like at this point even, I would already have received feedback and been like, okay, is this the wrong direction or is this the right direction? So before, you start polishing anything too much, always really nice to get some feedback, because if you spend like several hours, several days on something and then your director comes in and is like, oh, that's not really what we wanted, then you're gonna like have wasted a little bit of time, right? And it's just not very satisfying to have your own work thrown away. So always good to ask for feedback. But since I am my own creative master, haha, I can do what I want, even if it doesn't look that great. But we're here to have fun, so that's okay. Just gonna go back to the standard inflate, also a fun one. Inflate brush. It does what you would guess that it does. It just like, actually, let's pump it up a bit. It basically takes your geometry and blows it up. It could be, you could compare it to the standard brush, but it doesn't alter the position of geometry. In a sense, it just takes what you've got and makes it bigger, basically. I guess that's what it's supposed to do, but that still counts as moving geometry, right? Yeah. Anyway, you can see there I just made it like really thick. So, nope. There we go. Something like that. Yeah, it's alright. It's alright. Okay. Polish, also very nice. Polish is like, I'll just show you what polish is like. Just flattens it basically, but it doesn't, unlike when you hold Alt to get the reverse, polish will just flatten it out. And depending on the surface level that you start at, it'll take an average of that. It won't like flatten it down to oblivion, right? So it just really depends on where you start. So like, let's say, like for example, if I wanted to polish it here all the way out, then it's gonna lower everything down to that point that I started, versus if I started like up here, it kind of took that as the wrong polygon direction, but like let's say we started up here, it's not gonna flatten. Don't know if you guys can see that, but yeah, I think you get the idea. Okay. Just gonna smooth that. Yeah, it'll do. Okay. It's at this moment where I'm really contemplating just sitting like this. It's a little bit more comfortable. Yeah, did do that.
So, question for you, Emily. So, how did you find out about, or how did you found out about CADA? Because I know you come from the land down under.
Yeah.
And what kind of just like honed you in, just like saying, just like, oh, so what is this?
Well, there were a few like contributing factors in my life that led me to the decision to start at CADA, obviously, but some of them were that I knew I wanted to study abroad, and I actually have a couple relatives living in Europe and in Denmark in particular, so I was like, okay, like if I'm gonna go to Europe and I'm gonna like, be there for a while, let me just go to Denmark. And that led me to do a bunch of research. And I just found that Trumax CADA like met all my needs. Like I just, you weigh the pros and cons, and I found that, yeah, Trumax just offered me what I wanted. Yeah, like, just worked out for me. It just suited, just fit. Does that sort of answer your question?
Absolutely.
The question? Okay, great. Awesome. Yeah, and then, there's just so much, there's such a nice community around this stuff as well. Going to school here was loads of fun, as I'm sure it is at plenty universities, but you make a lot of friends, and because it is an international school, right, so you meet people from all over. That was really awesome. Lucky for me, the classes are taught in English. Hope that's not a problem for anybody.
But I would kind of ask you is that we do see quite a few students who is not from Denmark who is then attending to CADA.
Mm-hmm.
Would you how was it for you to kind of just jump into just you want to study abroad? I could maybe imagine that some of the viewers that is watching us right now, if they're contemplating about maybe joining
making the jump.
Yeah, how was that process for you?
Guys, moving country is never easy. But oh my god, was it worth it? Because at least for me, I was also looking for the life experience, right? So yeah, it kind of just fell into place. Trumax is super accommodating for lots of stuff. The staff are super nice and helpful. If you're really committed, I've heard stories in the past where they've actually also helped you find a place to live, because the systems across the world are obviously different. The government governs differently and so on. Like I said, I'm lucky enough to have some relatives here, so I had a little bit of a helping hand along the way. But yeah, and then you just make friends, and yeah, I mean, if you just if it's a question of jumping into 3D or jumping into the creative side of things or your passion, you I'm not a motivational speaker, but you just gotta make the jump. Oh shit, what did I just do? Yeah, you gotta make the jump, and because if you don't, you never know what could have been, and if you did, then at least you tried. And if you're really dedicated and you put enough work into it and passion, for the arts, there's no limit to what you can do. Especially if you ever wanted to go to the US or Canada or London also. A lot of work over there, and especially since COVID, the entertainment industry is it's always been huge, but whew, yeah, it's big now. I mean, besides all the the writers' strike that happened a while ago. Wait, how long? Yeah. So there's still stuff going on, right? That's just the world, but
The writer strike concluded, but now it's the actor strike, right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. But so there is stuff, but 3D artists are never going to run out of work because, especially once you finish the education, what we do is just so complicated. It can be, and it's valuable. So, yeah. But I would just say jump. Go for it. I'm a bit of a thrill seeker myself, so yeah. I was I didn't want to get bored.
Yeah.
So I was let me just go to Denmark. That's fine.
Oh, we got an Australian comment here saying, did you leave Australia because of spiders and snakes?
No. I was one of those people that live by the beach. So, I mean, yeah, you get spiders and snakes there too. But I've never had a snake in my toilet, and I've never had a spider in my pillow. So, I'm alive, right?
Your snakes and spiders are massive.
Yeah.
Yeah? Have you seen... Yeah, of course you have seen the size of those things because, like, you know, there's that constant joke about just like only in Australia or way in Australia.
But like, you know, when you're around them so often, so much, like, you grow like a healthy respect for nature and for wildlife, and to just leave it alone, because why would you fuck with that? You know, like I said, fuck around and find out. So, some people gotta learn the hard way. That's how it is. But not me. But no, I did not leave because of the snakes and spiders.
And now they're asking, so you left because of the sharks?
You know what? Like, no, but I'd have to say I'm a little bit more afraid of snakes than I am of spiders or sharks, actually. I've actually kissed a shark before. That was kind of cool. It was in captivity, though, so it doesn't really count, I guess. I don't know.
That is the most Australian thing you said today. It's just like, oh yeah, I've been kissing sharks.
The most Australian thing I've said today? Whoa, that's a record. Oh my god. I say a lot of Australian things. Now, I'm having a moment here where, like, I'm touching this brush, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's the same brush that I used before. It's the polish. But, I don't know if you guys can see, it's having a strange effect. Maybe I'd turn the polygon. Like, yeah, so you can see also the density. This is another, probably a bit of good information. The amount of squares here, right? You can kind of see it. They're called polygons. And there's less of them here. They're not as dense here. But when you use like a high detailed brush, the amount of polygons increases around that area. This is something in ZBrush called, is it called Dynamesh? No. It's not
mesh? No.
No, it's not ZRemesh. It's not ZRemesh. It's a function where when you have this option selected on, then no matter what brush you use, you're gonna either decrease or increase the amount of polygons in that area. The reason why it does this is so that you have enough detail to work with. Because, like, let's say like you just have a 6-sided cube, right? Or any shape, right? And then you try and get detail into that. You can only put so much detail into a geometry or into an object for as much, like, polygons it has. So this function lets you, like, add as much detail as you want. In the other version, you can turn it off, and then it'll stay like this polygonal density all the way around, which is also useful for blocking out. But right now, I can see, depending on the size of my brush, I'm, like, either increasing or decreasing the amount of polygons, which is, like, yeah, you can see I just did it just then. Interesting. Okay. There we go. That's better. But, oh, God, what is it called?
I think it is Dynamesh.
I think it is Dynamesh too, isn't it?
And also there's, so we have one in the chat saying, that's Dynamesh. And
yeah, right.
It's called Dintobo.
Dintobo?
Dintobo.
Dintobo. Okay. Topo. Dintopo.
Dintobo.
Say that 10 times quick.
Yeah, pardon my French.
Yeah. But, like, yeah, so, useful in some cases, useful and not. Like, when you're blocking out, like, you're sort of taught, and it's recommended that you keep it as low polygon as possible. Simple shapes, just to get the idea, you know, okay, this is here, this is there, blah, blah, blah. And then when you really get to the nitty gritty, then you can increase the density. But, you know, that doesn't really matter right now, does it? Because there are no rules. Have fun. Who cares? Yeah, see, look, it's, like, completely, like, because I've done, like, a smaller, larger. You can see here. Okay, good thing also if this ever happens. Let's say, like, you're so zoomed into something that you're doing, like, so much detail, and then you're, like, clicking all the buttons to try get out, but it's, like, doing a bunch of things, right, to your model that you don't want. You're just trying to navigate. This white square around here, probably should have told you guys this earlier, sorry, a bit late to the party. If you just select outside of that square, you can make any maneuver that you want. So I'm just going to zoom out.
Can I just say, as a part of third semester, I did not know that feature.
You didn't know that?
No.
I
am so happy that you...
I screwed up so many times where I was like, oh, now my eyeball looks perfect. And I was like, wait,
how do I get
out? Like, I'm trapped.
So you just have to, like, go... Okay.
Move, yeah, it's outside of this... It's within this area that you can basically just... Yeah. Move.
So as a student of CADA, I can just tell you that today I learned, so...
Well, CADA also taught me that, so they must have taught you that. Maybe you just like missed it at a point.
Maybe I've just been falling asleep behind the wheel.
Or maybe guys, you just mess around and you just find out. I wasn't gonna say it, but you said it, so. And, oh shit, yeah, and you just Here we go. Like, if anybody wants to see some of my actual sculpts that I did for like projects and stuff, do let us know, so that you know, I don't want you to think that I'm just like talking out of my ass, right? Like, I do something. There we go. Just gonna give it a bit of a bit more of a blocky, cartoony shape here. There we go. Just for the record, I'm not actually attempting to make Charmander, but yeah. Just taking a little bit of inspiration, I guess. I don't want to offend any, like, Pokemon fans that are like, that's not Charmander. So, gotcha. All good. Okay. But yeah, ZBrush is one of those things where you could just like spend all night doing it. And you can just easily get lost in the program, having fun with it. What the fuck? No, changed my mind. Control Z that. Redo that. You're gonna use the polish brush again. This time I'm gonna go a bit bigger, because go big or go home, really. Oh, yeah, see, it's doing that thing again, where it like, wish I could turn Dynamesh off, but that's alright. Okay. See that? Way down. Okay, what the fuck? Let's try something else.
Oh, by the way, one of the comments is saying that, and I'm kind of getting the same vibe as well, is that we're getting a little bit of a Spyro kind of vibe. Have you ever played that old game?
Spyro?
Yeah, the dragon.
Guys, you know, I probably just did that subconsciously because I love Spyro so much. Like, I probably just letting my creative brain flow, my subconscious was probably just like, for some reason I feel like this should be purple.
I mean, I'm just getting the massive vibes from it. I can see it's happening the same in the chat, that they were also...
So cute. I love Spyro. That's actually true.
Such a good game.
Yeah. Right? Yeah. My childhood right there.
Alright,
should probably get back into it.
Is there like a top 3 favorite video games of all time that's kind of just like been on your...
Not really. For me, it's like more of a nostalgic thing. I couldn't really tell you with a fully developed brain the plot of those games or like that stuff. It was just like a childhood thing for me. Yeah. So, couldn't really tell you all that.
Is there like a... Was there like any like... So mostly for me, for example, how I got into 3D is mostly just like because.
Oh, so you mean like inspiration and stuff?
Yeah, because like the way that I kind of like got into 3D was kind of just like I played a certain video game that really just like kind of made me just like immersed into that world, and I was saying to myself, wow, I really want to make this as well. Is there like a certain point in your life where it's either it's a video game or like a movie where it was just like wow, or just like through creativity that kind of made you just like say like 3D is something that I want to do?
Okay, can I give like sort of like a multifaceted answer? Because
absolutely.
Also, can they hear you okay? The mic is like right here, for you guys that don't know because you can't see it. Can they hear you okay from over there? I mean, or do I need to repeat the question? Because like,
I mean, I haven't seen anything in the comment section, so we're fine.
So he's so basically, how did I become passionate and get into 3D? Well, it's like, so you guys, like I said before, like I've always been like really into drawing, and that sort of creative side of things. Video games definitely got me into the 3D side of things. So like playing video games, like watching other people play video games made me be like, okay, like I would love to get into 3D. Watching like cartoons, like any cartoon, like it could be like watching just 2D cartoons, like Cartoon Network, Nickelodeon, anime, whatever it was, that sort of got me into like the more artistic, like creative side of things. So, you know, then I would want to try and like combine the two, so you can do, I mean, like the things that you can do with 3D are like infinite, right? It's just like drawing, but like with extra dimensions. So you can really just do so much. And then like gaming, wanted to do 3D. Cartoons got me into wanting to create games and movies and TV shows and films and stuff. So that was like the entertainment industry sort of been like, okay, like I want to make a story. I want to build a story. And then like 3D was like, yeah, sort of the combination of those things.
Right.
Yeah. But like, it doesn't even have to go that way, you know? Like you might just like drawing. I mean, I doubt like you guys would be here if you just like drawing, but like if you just like drawing, then you can also do sculpting and fall in love with it that way. Or you might, like I have a lot of friends who started out in 3D and thought they wanted to do modeling and ended up doing something else completely, like, well, not something else completely, but VFX side of things, right? So like creating weather systems. And so that includes a bunch of stuff like lighting, simulation, snow, rain, thunder, like whatever you want, right?
Yeah. Explosions,
fire, you know, animation, huge market for animation. Everyone needs an animator. My professor that taught me how to sculpt in school, or my class how to sculpt in school, he was a freelancer that only did sculpting. So I'm not sure, like, I don't think he did projects before where they were turned into video game characters or animation characters. And that is a huge difference to note, right? Symmetry is so important for characters that you want to animate on. Because when you create a character that's intended for, like, a different purpose, such as, like, adding it to a film or a TV or a video game, it needs to be like the pose. It needs to be posed symmetrically, T-pose. The gamers will already know this, you know, T-posing, like that's just like the default, right? But for my professor who just did still sculpts, he's Italian. The municipalities in Italy and like some government institutions would hire him out to sculpt sculptures, and then they would 3D print those sculptures and put them up in the city. Like literally just have like sculptures just just for looks, like just to like look at it, because like it looked good, like decorative sculptors and stuff, right? So he's really good. And he does like hyper realistic like faces and all of this stuff, you know. We're talking like Greek statues, you know. And then you can also, you know, there's a whole process, like depending on the material you want to use, right? So you like 3D print it, and then it goes through a process. But the idea, right, is he does the whole pose and stuff like that. So he like does all that sort of stuff. But if you took that same character, right, that he has sculpted in like whatever pose, you would not be able to like rig that and use that for an animation. You would have to then break the arms and like straighten it out so that you can, you know, a bunch of technical shit, blah, 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 blah. Just put a skeleton in it, and then, right? So there are different functionalities for different purposes of the way that you know, for whatever you want to make. He's got a bit of a 5 head here. Let me just fix that. Yeah. But yeah, I forgot the question.
Well, if you kind of
I kind of went on a tangent, you know.
Yeah, no worries, no worries.
I hope that was useful information, I guess. I just found it, I find it interesting.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I remember back in the days I played. There's two video games that like really just like got me into like 3D, which was World of Warcraft and The Elder Scrolls Oblivion, which was kind of just like, you know, at that time it really just like kind of I immersed myself into like you know, a fantasy world, right?
Yeah, for me it was probably like Skyrim and Halo. Like even if I was too young to play them myself, or even if I just watched my brother play them, you know, it was still hugely, massively influential, right? So,
yeah.
I mean, keep going. I mean, the list goes on forever, right? There are so many games.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I feel like I kind of found out like through those worlds, I was kind of just like, how can I offer that, or how can I just like invite other people into like, you know, your own fantasy world, right? And by doing so, I really thought like, you know, after playing, you know, countless of hours of like, let's say Skyrim, Oblivion, Warcraft, you name it and whatsoever, that was like kind of my go-to, because like I always been happy also for like drawing and, you know, photography and whatnot. But, you know, getting into these worlds, like you could just like spend countless of hours in these worlds, and I feel like that is just like, that was like kind of like that's when I knew like, okay, this is the path that I want to go for. It's just like, if I can invite other people into these worlds, then I would be more than happy.
Yeah, and I mean, guys, the satisfaction that you get from creating a product, or like anything, like even if it's an advertisement, or like that lo-fi thing that I showed you guys, the satisfaction that you get from just being a creator and getting to put something out in the world that like other people get to enjoy, honestly, I think is a little underrated, because we always talk about how, you know, all these other occupations are so helpful to society, or, you know, like I'm not a doctor, like I can't save anybody's life, but to know that people enjoy the content that you make, so satisfying. It's like completely satisfying. I would so recommend it. And I completely relate to what you say about like inviting people into your world. It's it's something else.
It's just like, it has like such a noble intention, right? It's just like, and also one thing that I really just like found out as well is just like, you know, sitting here just like hanging out and just like, you know, in ZBrush.
Yeah.
Like one of the best way of spending like a Sunday is basically like putting on some good music and then just like sculpting away, and just like you get into that like kind of flow state, and that is such an amazing world to just like step into. It's just like you can spend hours and hours, and it's such a great way. Just like,
tell me about it.
Yeah,
like
right?
I'm having a little getting into the flow state right now, just because I'm actually multitasking, but so my creation is yeah, a little bit. But I mean, it is definitely such a nice experience.
Absolutely.
To be able to do those sorts of things. Okay, now I'm gonna go and use the pinch brush again. I know this looks weird as hell, and it doesn't look like an eye at all, and it's like, what? But I'm gonna just try and fix that. And I'm gonna use the pinch brush. And we're gonna see if I can... Nope. What am I doing? It is that one, right? Yeah, it is. Okay, I think it's doing that because in normal ZBrush, there's a brush called Damn Standard. Don't ask me why it's called that. It just is. It's called Damn Standard. That's like the pinch brush, only more of a curve inwards. Like it goes deeper. Super useful. I'm gonna try and replicate that with this brush, but it's not really.
Speaking of Skyrim, by the way, there's one in the chat saying they are trying to make Alduin the evil dragon from Skyrim as of right now. So, kind of like... So,
hell yeah.
Absolutely. I do have to warn the viewers and you as well that we are reaching 7 o'clock, which means that we are kind of slowly concluding today's stream.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking... if you kind of want to riff off an idea, is that the people who's going to attend next week, they can keep on working on their dragon sculpts.
I mean, I like 100%. Like, and so for anybody who's comfortable sharing their work and you're going to attend next week's class, totally like keep working, do whatever you want, right? And then take a screenshot or a picture or whatever and send it in the chat. Does it have to be like the chat for next week's class? Does it have to be, can it be this chat or it has to be Discord, right?
I think it would be best to go on Discord and share it in there because then it's permanent.
Yeah.
And then next week we can maybe just like have a sit down and just like kind of just go through what people have been working on. Totally.
If anyone wants genuine feedback or critique, totally cool for that. If you don't want that, just want to show it and just, have a little fun with it. Also totally cool with that. Any questions are always welcome. Yeah, if you have any more questions, now's the time to ask because we got to wrap up. And I'm a little bit sad that I didn't get a little bit more done with this by 7 than I wanted, but I believe in you guys. I hope you guys did. I'm sure you guys did great and so much more than me. But
people are already sharing their stuff in here, so
really?
Yeah.
Holy shit! Look, y'all are making me look like an amateur. Look at that. Damn. That's great. Okay, I'm gonna take a look at your stuff over there. Once the stream ends, I think, because he's sitting over there. But
sitting here in the corner.
Sitting there in the corner by his lonesome self. But yeah, I mean, I hope this was helpful, guys. I hope this was useful. Like on the technical side of things, like if you want me to go into more detail next time, like that's totally cool. Like just say, or if it was too slow or too quick, let me know. Just trying to gauge like the skill level here. But I hope that I could give some like useful tips and some useful information about, sculpting and the industry and yeah, I mean, if you think of any other questions that you have in between, like throw it in the Discord chat also. We could probably get to it next time too.
Absolutely.
Or like in between. We have moderators on Discord all the time. So yeah, whatever you want. Yeah. Okay, so I'm really sorry if I haven't like read a lot of questions. Oh gosh, I'm just gonna start. Okay. Any advice on making the eye? Yeah, so generally what I would do is I would get those spheres like I told you about, pluck them in there, and then build the geometry around it. So I would usually like cave this out. Let me grab this one. I'd cave this out and then put a sphere in there and then build the geo around it. Like I did in the start, kind of, but then, there are only so many functionalities that you can do, so we're gonna do it a different way. But that's how I would recommend doing it generally. Wouldn't recommend doing what I'm doing, but it'll do. Yeah, I hope you guys had fun. That's nice. That's great.
We're being called cute.
I know. Yes. Success. Success. I know it doesn't look like Spyro. I know, but like, to be fair, I don't think even if I could make Spyro, I don't think I could do him justice. He's just too cool, you know? He's just way too cool. I could never replicate him. He's just too cool.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All
That's
right,
asking too much.
Like slowly.
Yeah. All right.
Down.
I will see you guys next week.
Yeah. So for the people out there, I'm just gonna join you here. By the
Yeah.
side. Do you mind if I join you?
Please join me. This is
Hi,
Christian,
Chef.
everybody.
So I'm the moderator.
It's a delay, so but they can see it. Yeah.
So I've been the moderator and sitting behind the scenes. You probably heard my annoying voice throughout. So next week it's gonna be the same time and same place where we'll be modeling. So we're gonna model an object. So make sure you have Blender installed. It's free. I will send out the link, so no worries. But yeah, it's gonna be the same time, same place. I put out the Discord links for you guys to share your lovely ZBrush sculpt for today. We are very much excited, so I think next week we'll probably just go through and we'll see what you guys have been making and stuff like that, and then you can maybe get a little bit of critique. By the way, if this has interested you in any certain way, felt like 3D is the coolest stuff ever, do be advised that we are a school. We're called CADA, which is Copenhagen Academy for Digital Arts.
Yeah, if you couldn't guess. That's
That's the point. But
yeah.
if it's really fancies you and you want to learn a little bit more about it, you can go onto our website called CADA. Is it like, what do you call it? Is it dash?
Oh.
What's like the...
If you search TrueMax...
yeah, but what's like... So the minus... So if I want to do like a website and I want to do like the minus icon, is that a dash? Or what?
Yeah.
Okay, so cada-edu.com. You go
See, it's the language barrier because I'm English speaking. I'm from Australia and he's, yeah.
I'm Danish as hell.
Yeah, sorry. Continue.
No worries. But yeah, you can go in there. We do actually offer a little bit more in-depth... kind of imagine a little bit more in-depth bootcamp, which is called 3D Essentials, which really gets you honed in on your 3D techniques. Other than that, we do offer 3.5-year education here at the school. So
I mean, and like you could also just say like, if this was way too amateur level for you, then CADA is for you. Like sign up. They teach you everything, and like put enough energy into it. Yeah, the best of the best.
The best of the best.
The best, only the best.
But yeah, you can find more about it on our website. You can also find all our social media links down in the description below.
Yeah.
We had pretty good fun, and yeah, Emily, you crushed it today.
Really?
Yeah, you did.
Thank you. I enjoyed myself, but I always enjoy 3D, so I'm a little bit biased. So
You're in the zone.
I am. Okay. And but yeah, I'm so excited to see all your work, guys. I think it's gonna be nice.
It's gonna be great.
There we go. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Well, this was my, I hope you enjoyed making your dragons, and this is my, deformed Spyro head, I guess.
Cherry Spyrosard, maybe? Like a cherry sard?
Yeah,
Spyro?
Spyrozard or something. Yeah,
It's absolutely
whatever.
amazing.
Cool. Okay. Thanks, guys. Thanks for joining.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure. And same time, same place, same next week, I guess. But,
Yes.
all right, I'll catch you guys on the chat. But yeah.
Yeah, we'll answer some extra questions on the chat because we gotta shut it down now. But
It's been fun.
yeah, cool. Thanks for coming.
See ya.
Bye.